Mm-hmm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on what time zone you're in or what time you're watching this video. Today we are back with Aurora, and I am very excited because I get to see Aurora in concert for the first time ever on Monday. And honestly, I am so ready for this. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to it. So I thought, why not watch a new Aurora video? And so we're here with It Happened Quiet. Without further ado, love you all. Let's jump right in, shall we? Let's go. I really like this music.
Eyes blue and hollow as it rains against their will. Feathers falling out of a pillow as if time is standing still. I can't remember much more, but I know it happened quiet, so quiet. Words falling out through the window. All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth colored red as I land like a flower on the meadow? Love is what you felt.
Bro, I was not expecting this. Like, okay, let's just talk about it. We start off with like eyes blue and hollow. Like I had the lyrics pulled up here, but eyes blue and hollow as it rains against their will, and it's like that's just it's crying, right? And then we get into feathers falling out the pillow as if time is standing still. And like if you've ever heard of anyone talk about a trauma before, in the worst moment of it, a lot of the time it feels like time is frozen because like it's almost like time dilation where things start to slow down as your adrenaline rushes and you feel this almost like the world is slowing down around you. And then we get I can't remember much more. Bro, like that's so heavy because we get a moment before that feathers falling out of a pillow and it's like the visual you're given is this person being beaten in their bed, right? And the idea that they can't remember much more is that they were hurt so much, they were hit so hard that it's like it's not even a clear picture of what happened anymore. And then we get the it happened quiet, but it's punctuated by like a silence with like this like staccato plucking, just very abrupt, and it's almost like you can feel the hits alongside her voice as the music fills in the picture. And that's kind of what we get from that moment. And it's like it's so heavy because it almost feels like as the person listening, like we become fearful and we're instilled with the same kind of traumatic effect, obviously not to the same level, but like the same perceived slowdown that the person who was abused in in the picture was as well. And so we are given that via the music but also via the lyrics because it's like it's so quiet. And it's like beyond the idea that it's so quiet that you're passing out, it's also quiet because maybe you've never said anything to anyone else, right? And that now there's no one else there that's left to help you, and it feels so lonely, and that's part of why it feels so quiet. Bro, and then we get words falling out through the window. All that remains is a silent call. And it's like I almost wonder if that's like the windows, like your eyes, the windows to your soul in that sense. And so like it's like you've said all the things that you can say with your eyes, begging for this person to stop. And now that we mentioned at the start is that they're hollowed out. You're hollowed out, and so there's nothing left in that soul. You feel hollowed out on the inside, and it just hurts. And then to get is the earth colored red. It's like that's what we see as we're falling to the floor, and that's also the tint on the visual here, right? Like we're seeing this image of like, and she's actually covering her face almost like she's trying to protect herself. Oh my god, it's, and then we get like, as I land like a flower in the meadow, love is wild. And it's like, it almost like, even in that moment when you're being abused, you still think it's love. And that's how this kind of feels when you're stuck in this kind of situation where you want so badly for things to work out that it feels like love, but it's almost like Stockholm syndrome where like it's the fear has set in, and now that those two are synonymous, you can't even think about this love without the fear. And so in a way it's comforting. And that's what we get. And that's almost like at the start of the song. I don't know. I was saying, like, I really like this music at the start, and it feels like a lullaby, but it's almost like now that I'm like kind of trying to think about it again, it almost feels like a very not soulless, but it feels like lost its charm or happiness. And it feels very much like just going with the flow as a lullaby. And so it really is like you've lost all hope, you've lost all maybe love that actually existed there, but still to you it feels like that love is just wild. That's all it is. Don't worry, it's just wild love. And maybe that's what the person who is doing this has actually said to you. Man, this is, I was not expecting it to get this heavy. I love Aurora because like it's like everything she sings about, everything that she does is meant, it has a purpose. And I've said this before, like I'm so glad to be introduced to artists like this, like Ren, like her, like just so many amazing artists that really have taken into consideration all the things that need to change, and are trying to inspire that change, and it's through their music. And this is just beautiful, even though it's so haunting. And even at the end there we get like a bit of that haunting voice. Like I want to go back just a little bit. Actually, I want to go back to the staccato plucking because that really got me, um as we got to that moment right here. Yeah,
But I know it happened quiet,
like,
so quiet.
and she even sounds a little bit scared
What's
there.
falling out through the window? All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth colored red as I land like a flower on the meadow? Love is
Like that sounds so haunted, man. And whew, just
you fell apart like a stone can be broken into sand. A thousand pieces spread across a crying land, and you can't remember that day, but you know it happened quiet,
oh my god,
so quiet.
almost like accusatory.
What's falling out through the window? All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth colored red as I land like a flower on the meadow? Love is wild.
Sorry, I want to pause for a second because I really like the imagery she gives us. There's like, and I want you to pay attention to the words that she uses because she started with I, right? First she was talking about herself, but now it's become you. Almost like one of two things. One is there's another person now experiencing the same thing, or you're so detached from yourself and so hollowed out that you don't even feel like you are yourself. It's not I, it's you, as though you're watching as another observer because you're so disconnected. You've taken a step back from your own life. And that's such a heavy sentiment, and just such a great, like, it's great writing in that sense too, But I really like the imagery we get here because it's like we get you fell apart like a stone and broken into sand. It's like your heart became stone, right? And then it's like you fell over, and when you fell over because you were hit, you shattered into 1,000 pieces. And that is what ultimately like is what spread across the land like some sort of fertilizer for this wild love that's growing, and it's this love that's born out of fear and sadness, and you just can't dissociate the love from the fear and the hate anymore. And it's so heavy, but it's exactly the sentiment of someone who is trapped with this person, this abusive person, and it's so hard to let go because now you feel like your happiness, because probably at some point you were happy with this person, and now you feel like your happiness is tied directly to that person. So even though leaving would probably be the best option, in your mind it doesn't make sense because staying is the only thing you've ever known, and so why would you ever leave, and why would you give up this love even though it's not love? And I love that in the chorus here where we get the vocals like this, now it's like stacking vocals and it almost sounds like there's more people. So like it's like this is either again where it's like two people now and so they're both singing the chorus, or this has happened so many times that there's that many layers in the track now. And that's crazy. Like, man, it's just I keep saying heavy, but like it is so heavy. And I think that's so appropriate for the topic because so many people suffer not being able to leave relationships like this because they think it's the only way that they know how to live and the only way that they'll be happy, but like that's not true. That's not true. And that's something that it's hard to understand and hard to come to grips with because it's what you've known for so long, but it's something that truly you need to understand because you're jeopardizing your own safety and your happiness by staying. And it's yeah, it's just so heavy, man. Oh, I love Aurora. She's so fantastic.
Higher dreams, as night as they seem. Higher dreams, as night as they seem. Don't you speak over my voice. I will return from the shadows and I'll bleed in your bed. Turn it red like the ground outside your window. Love is wild. Love is wild.
Oh my god, dude. Jeez. Yo, okay. I I have like I don't know if you can see. I don't think you can, but like I have there's I'm like my hairs are on end right now. Cuz like I've seen first of all, I've seen a lot of horror movies. It's one of my favorite genres. But the ending here turns horror movie because we start to descend literally in the sense of the tone of her voice. It starts to descend. I don't even know if it's her voice. It almost sounds like a choir now, but it's like the kind of choir you hear in a movie when like there's the demon and it's so close by, right? And it's like that moment where you're like, you're not sure if you're gonna survive, you're not sure if you're gonna live, and it's the exact sentiment of this situation because it's like being around that person, you don't know what's going to happen next. And it's literally a horror movie because anything could happen. And a lot of the times, the thing that happens is the worst thing that could happen. And in the same sense, we get that idea of like, are your dreams as dead as they seem? Because it's like part of it is like, don't you remember who you were? Don't you want more than this? Is this really what you want? And then we get that, don't you speak over my voice, and finally it's like that eruption inside. We get this like uplift of like I'm done with this. I'm not taking this anymore. And it's like part of it is like I will return from the shadows, in the sense that like in that dark place that you put me in the back of my mind, I'm coming back from there. I'm no longer staying in that space, and I'm going to come back stronger. I'm going to come back as more than you have ever understood me to be. And that's what we get here. And then honestly, that descent, now that I think about it, it could be one of two things. It's like the aggressor now coming back as that demon, or now it's like you have found that inner strength that's made you the demon to them. And now they're scared of you because they don't know, they've never seen this side of you, the side of you that has this kind of power that hasn't been present before. And in that way, it's like it scares them, and now you feel scary and terrifying to them. And I kind of really like that interpretation a lot, because I that's what you want in that situation. You want that person to be able to stand up for themselves, and then also just return that fear, in the sense of like, you touch me ever again, and I promise you, you're gonna regret it. And that's the sense that you get at the end of this, and I love that. And it gives you the kind of feeling that this person who was being abused was able to kind of like leave and grow stronger than they ever thought they could be. And I really like that. Yo, oh my god. Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. And I love that there's so many considerations that are made for this song to happen. And I love that, just like it's taken a topic so heavy, and we almost see all aspects of it. The brokenness of the person who is abused, the the worst moments that can happen in their life, and then we kind of see the effect that it has on them, in terms of like mentally, where they kind of close off from the world, and literally everything feels quiet, because it's like you have put yourself in this dark place in the back of your mind that you don't even want to emerge from, because being in your shoes is one of the worst feelings that you know. And then we get this ending where it's almost like we find ourselves in that darkness, and bring them forward and say that, like, this is not us, this is not who we are, we're not letting this happen anymore. And I love it. And I hope that anyone who is in a situation like this, please know that, like, you deserve more, you deserve better. You don't deserve to be feeling trapped and feeling like there's nothing that you can do, because there's always something that you can do. And it might not seem that way, but at the very worst, at least tell someone, and maybe find a way together to move past that, if you don't feel like you have the strength personally. But you do have the strength. And I think that's the point of this song, is that you do have the strength. It's just that you've almost like you feel so in love with this person that you've given away part of that strength to almost honor that love. But it's still there, that strength, and you have it. I assure you. So never let yourself kind of be in this place. Wow, man, that was amazing. Holy smokes. Yeah. Yeah. As always, fantastic. Yeah, I hope that your week is better than your day. Your month is better than your week, and your year is better than your month. I love you all. Stay safe, stay happy, and I will see you on the next one.